I had to create a budget and then stick with it. I had to live within my means, and it wasn't like, oh gee, I just woke up today, I think I'll create a budget. I needed help. I needed people to help show me that, right? Next thing was I had to begin to save money. That was another attack on my beliefs. I can't save money. I don't make enough money. All this erroneous belief. So I had to start saving, and I literally started with a nickel. No kidding. Put a nickel in that envelope. Don't touch it. The next week, you're putting a dime in, and a quarter, and a dollar, and I had to build that muscle. It says you can have savings, you can save until there was hundreds of dollars in there, and I had to open an account. So I had to build these muscles, right? So we have a budget, we learn how to save, to give ourselves a cushion, so that cushion, when we can save, takes away all the drama. I'm saving now for the dog, the veterinarian. I'm saving for the car fix. So I had to stop being dishonest about my motives and pretty much everything. I was like, I had to be nice to myself. It's okay, Susan, just be honest. Like, what's really going on? You don't want to do any of this, but I am going to do it. Just like when I quit smoking. It was very uncomfortable. But I was like, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the uncomfortable thing to get the result and get the prize at the end of that, right? And then I had to learn, because I didn't really know how do I create goals? I didn't even have goals. I was too stressed out to have goals. Trying to, juggle this, juggle that, right? And then I also had to learn how to ask myself the tough questions. How do I find the blind spots? What am I really not looking at? Right? Do I have any blind spots? Am I under-earning? Am I not bringing enough money in? Am I spending too much? Some people have a real spending compulsion. They want to spend every day. They want to spend money. Do I have a poverty mindset? That's a very good question for a lot of people. Now for me, that is definitely what I had. I had a poverty mindset, and I had to slowly let that go. Am I anorexic? I've been anorexic with money, meaning there was a time I had plenty of money. I wouldn't spend it. I was so afraid. So why am I in fear? So this is just the beginning, right? So, but just like, how do I eat an elephant? A bite at a time, a little at a time, with a lot of patience, and you can only take in as much as you can, overnight. I'm telling you, where I was 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, very different place than today. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I was like, my neighbors know. My neighbors know my house is on a sheriff's sale. But I took it off the sheriff's sale every time. People was walking through my yard, taking pictures.
That's a tough one, huh?
I'd be looking out the window. They're walking through. They thought the house was empty. They thought a lot of times a sheriff's sale, nobody's living there. So I go in the back. Excuse me. They're like, oh no, I'm going to buy this house tomorrow at the sheriff's sale. I said, God willing, Yah willing, you will. We'll see about that. He goes, I said, this is my house and you need to leave. Oh, I'm sorry. People driving by taking photos. Everybody, it's public knowledge.
Yeah.
It's like, look at her husband just died. Now she's, house is going to get taken from her. And the thing is, I had to be okay. Like, if the house gets taken from me through the legal process, I still have to love myself, pursue Yah, forgive myself, and not get into a shame spiral right down into hell.
Yeah.
Like, that's not godly. So win or lose, it wasn't, the victory wasn't keeping the house. It was like, I have to change on the inside instead of being shame-based and ignorant. I have to learn, you know. And I was very careful who I told. You know, like only a few people in my family knew, because the other ones I knew would judge me. I felt it. They looked a lot better financially, you know. So I said, then just don't tell them, you know. And if anybody knows it, because they're looking online, whose house is whatever. It is what it is. He doesn't think of me like that. He's the one I should be concerned about the most. What does he think of me? Not the worms and the people, you know? So, anyway, so I had to learn that I have to keep learning. So I went from the, you know, bouncing checks, late on the bills, afraid to open the mail. The mail was just piled up. My sister came over. See, after my husband died, I said to my sister, please come over and open my mail. So she did. But that was nothing new. See, I was a dishonest. I made it sound like, oh, the mail is piling up because Fred just died. The mail was always piling up before Fred died. So my sister came over. She, oh, did you see this? Oh, you got to look at this. Oh, so that's not today. The mail doesn't pile up. The bills aren't late. I'm not a millionaire yet. If that's Yah's will, that's Yah's will, right? But I am debt free. There's no more IRS debt. That's gone.
What happened to the house?
The house, I live in it. I live in it. I still live in it.
Wow, what a testimony.
So at that time, I did my net worth. I learned how to look at that. Everything I own, everything I'm in debt to, and I was upside down. 6 figures in the red, minus sign. You know what I mean? Minus about 300,000. Today it's the opposite.
Wow.
Plus. But you know, it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have the tools, if I didn't have instruction, and if I didn't have a renewing of my mind, heart, and spirit.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'm just going to touch on like the spiritual side a little bit here. You know, okay, so I have tools, and I've known many people that have the tools, budget, and they're miserable because they don't have a renewed mind. If they don't have a renewed mind, they don't have generosity, they don't have gratitude, and that's what I needed. I needed all this stuff that comes with a renewed mind, loving, wanting to help others, wanting to help myself so I can help others more, right? That kind of thing, that kind of generosity. So people, you know, like the way I was, like I didn't grow up in poverty, but a lot of people say that. Oh, I grew up in poverty. You know, my mother grew up in poverty. She didn't end up in poverty. So, but she had a very different personality and mind, right? Some people say, I'm in poverty, I grew up in poverty. My dad gambled all the money. My mom spent all the money on jewelry. My parents cut me out of the will because I'm a drug addict. I've heard everything, right? Nobody taught me how to manage money. Yeah, okay, me too. Me too. I didn't have a good education. It's too late, I'm too old. I have too much debt, I'll never catch up. That's a big one. I'll never catch up. So trade all those excuses and all that stuff. And what did I learn? Which is nothing new. I learned what the Bible said, to be content with what I have, to not be coveting other people's houses and cars, right? How to work diligently, how to be honest with myself, my slacking, right? How to be generous as my means allow, because I would also be too generous.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd be at the end of the year, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I gave all that money. That was not wise. That was foolish because I still owe this one. So why was I giving all the money over there? Because I want them to think I'm fabulous. I'm actually stealing from, if I'm not paying this bill, I'm actually stealing. So I would give sometimes to charity and stuff, just really tell myself, oh, you're a good person. You're a good person. Like, I don't need to do that anymore. I need a good person keeps a budget, has a plan.